This is the second part of a two-part video in which I'll be discussing the Python application that runs on a Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi actually connects with two different sources. It connects to a submersible pressure switch. It also connects to the serial link to a propeller chip, which is on the main controller board. The last video I discussed the part that deals with the submersible pressure switch. This one I'm going to be discussing the connections with the propeller chip as well as how it sends the emails. So at the top of the video here, top of the application, we have, so here we have to import a serial library. Now it's actually Pi serial is the actual, so if you're going to install it, you would actually, outside the application here in Linux, you would install Pi serial, but that's what this is using. So when you actually import it in the application you would be import serial, import the library. Also, what we need to do for the email, we need these two lines right here, right? So the import this SMTP lib simple mail transport protocol library, and this one here is the SSL secure socket layer. So these two together allow you access to the internet, as well regarding especially regarding the email, and this SSL deals with security. The bottom one here. So from the email message library, you're going to import this class. It's the emailed message. This is a class that's imported from this library here. Okay, and we're going to define a variable, and it's as this type of class, right? So now all the way down to here is dealing with the ADC and communicating with their submersible pressure switch. Okay, down here at this point, now this is where the serial connection is. So from that serial library, we're going to define a single variable, SER, which we're going to use, and I guess you want to call it instantiated, I guess. It's going to be a serial connection, baud rate 9600 bits, no parity, one stop bit, 8 data bits, and timeout for 10 seconds. This one right here isn't even needed, really. I probably just delete that one. We don't need that. Okay, here's where we actually are going to, with that serial object here, we're going to reset or clear the input buffer. Now, this application only receives serial data from the propeller chip. It does not send anything back. It just listens for it. That's why I call it a listener application. Okay, we're going to bypass this email part for function right now. Come right down to here. Okay, this function is used for the receive a string that's sent from the propeller chip. So anyway, so serial read line. So it actually, this read line, using the serial object, read a line up from the serial buffer, and read line means it reads everything up to a new line character. Decode this UTF-8. That's needed to, to match all the formatting and stuff. And strip is going to strip away spaces and so forth. All right, this one down here is just for troubleshooting. Okay, so if the length or the number of bytes received in the buffer is less than 1 or 0, then you're going to write in the received buffer. You're going to write no data received. Now this is not the received buffer. I mean the variable that's used to hold the received information. Where down is right here. If the length the number of bytes of the received data buffer, not the buffer, but the variable is greater than 300 bytes, then we send a message, right? Data too long, we put that into this variable here. So if everything went fine, then it will we'll go ahead and it'll send the message back. It'll return the message back. If it didn't go fine, for example, too short, it'll send this message. If it was too long, it'll send this message or return this message back to the calling program, which is right here. Okay, so anyway, so in this while loop here, it's going to keep checking. It'll receive a string, put it into here, and then it'll append the time to the right of it at some point. And this is where it would actually print it on the console. And then so if the received string, if it starts with these letters here in brackets, then it's going to remove this section and just put this part into the message variable, and then what it actually does is it splits this into two strings. String and index 0 is this one, and the second part of that string, second index, would be this one, receive string. This is the second location in that string array, I guess you want to call it, array of strings. So this will have just the message. And then it prints this in the console, and here's what actually sends the email out. Okay, so, and then it times out for 10 seconds. So let me go back over to the email section now. So here's what all these here, these are all just variables we're sticking values into it. Okay, so in this one here, it'll be your email server's URL, I guess you want to call it. Like you'd have, see, I have a host, I subscribe to a hosting service where I can post web pages and so forth, but the hosting service also provides me an email connection or email server connection, and this is and for example, this is what could be an example of where you put your email server address, and then the port. For me, SSL connections would be on port 465, and this would be, for example, your email address of that in your hosting service, and this would be you, for example, and then this one is where it would go into the receiver. Okay, so it's loading these values into these variables. These are just variables, just string variables, and this would be probably an integer. And then your password to your email would be right here. Down here, okay, so now here's where it, I guess it would say it instantiates this MSG as a variable as one of these, the email message. It turns it into that type of object. So now the message object is an email message object. So then we set the content. This is the content that's being sent, email message. Then here's where we put the subject and it's from you, and it's to here. And these are the values that were assigned up here. And we have to set up a context. So the this here now context here will be an SSL like object, creating default context. It loads the system default trusted certificate authority values. And I'll just you can look that up on your own what that means. Okay, and then we actually try to send the message out. So with this simple mail transport object, we put our server and port and that context value here as server. Here's what, okay, now we're going to try. Here's where you try to log in. So it's your server, your email, and your password, and then you send the message, and then you close it. All right, and then if everything went fine, it's going to print this message on the console. If it didn't go fine, then it'll print this message on the console. So, okay, not to let this message be too long. So I just want to kind of briefly go over what these different sections are. So I'll go ahead and post this whole this listing here on the YouTube by this YouTube page here. So okay, so I'll that should be it for this video.